Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Creative Flair Podcast. It has been an extraordinarily long time since I've actually done one of these podcast episodes. And there's a good reason for it, is that because I have now moved down to London. And I also have been struggling to keep this up going with like my time management and everything that's going on, because I've now started university where I'm studying fine art and history of art at Goldsmiths. Also, I apologize, I'm a bit under the weather at the moment. I've got a cold, so my voice sounds terrible. I've been trying to work out the best way to have this set up. So I've got a camera, a light, my microphone, and then my little dorm room. I'm very, very cramped at the moment because I'm used to my studio up north where I had a lot more space, a lot more room. And even up there, I felt a little bit cramped. Down here in London, it's, a little bit more cramped than ever because it's dorm room. And literally, when I talk just to this microphone, everybody in the hallway can hear me talk. So all of my flatmates know that I'm doing this, which is genuinely terrifying to me and has made me incredibly self-conscious. So believe it or not, I'm actually trying to talk a little bit lower down than I normally would into the microphone. But anyway, what has been happening and going on recently is so amazing, and I've got so much to tell you and talk about and everything. I really, really want to try and get the podcast going a little bit more and actually be more interactive with it. It's just incredibly hard at the moment to be balancing university, where I'm doing a dual honours degree, the website, the podcast, Instagram, and everything else that I do. And now that I've moved down here, there have been some amazing opportunities that have presented themselves to me, where I'm actually going out and going around to do actual artist interviews, where I'm going to these art fairs with a microphone and a camera and basically just walk up to people and go, "Hi, do you want to do a quick interview with me?" And I do a video of it and then I post it on social media. And the response has been absolutely amazing. And it's led to some amazing networks and some talks with some amazing artists and people. I absolutely love it. Literally, this is a dream for me and everything that's happening. And I've been to a couple of these shows now, and all of a sudden, the last one I went to, it was the most surreal thing that's ever happened. Of I walked in, and there were people that genuinely recognized me from my content on social media as like an artist, but not just as an artist, but as somebody that can help artists, which is literally the whole reason why I started this and I'm doing this. So I am completely over the moon about it and just absolutely so happy to be down here and being able to have the opportunity to do this sort of thing is the dream for me. There have been ups and there have been downs about moving to London. I've been here for just over a month now, I think. Yeah, about a month and a week. And yeah, there's been so many amazing things, but there have also been a lot of downfalls as well. And essentially, I moved down here with one of my best friends who I met doing my foundation year last year. She moved down here as well, but went to a separate university. And for the first literally month and week, we just have hung out every single day and been talking and just hanging out. And she's the one that's been doing all the art videos for me as well. So it's been absolutely great. She's now moved back home, which I completely get and respect. And she's doing her own thing, which is amazing. And I'm so happy for her that she's actually doing something that she wants to do and is in a place that she wants to be. So that's great for her. And I won't lie, I've taken quite a beating from that of I'm now realizing I'm down here completely alone, which terrifies the hell out of me. But I am slowly getting through to myself that I have people and I just need to expand more. It's just a very large adjustment for me because I was so used to this thing that I had in this lifestyle and basically this hanging out every night and going to do this, going to do that, and now all of a sudden nothing. So I have, yeah, exactly. It's strange down here in London because it's just a very different atmosphere as well. Like the people down here are quite interesting to say the least. Loads of people I've met are super nice, they're super great, but there's a lot of people that are just a bit, you know, yeah. Like there's a lot of people that I go to around and like try to chat to, and they're just a bit, the word would be clicky to be example. But anyway, that's enough of that small bit of trauma. So yeah, I've started university at Goldsmiths University of London, and I live like 20 minutes away from it, and it is absolutely mind blowing to be studying there, and it's so great. And the course is very interesting to me because it's a dual honors degree course where I'm studying fine art and the history of art. And for this first little episode thing again, I have no idea what to properly talk about anymore because there's a lot that's going on in my life, but you guys see most of that on Instagram, and I don't know what else to talk about on the podcast itself. And so I thought maybe I can share a little bit of experience from what's been going on at university, possibly. So studying fine art and history of art as a dual honours degree at university is very different from what I initially thought it would be. I had initially had this idea of the history of art being the study of the historical side of art movements, art techniques, art forms, and learning about that. For example, learning about cave paintings and then like learning about the Renaissance, Impressionism, different art movements, everything like that up to the modern day and the contemporary era. Boy, was I wrong. It is very complicated to explain the history of art because we don't really study the history of art techniques or the history of like art movements at all. We study this module called modernities, and I do an optional module as well, which is called Beyond Boundaries. Modernities is basically the exploration of the modern world and where our idealistic ideas of art have come from. And we basically started looking at like the Renaissance and why the Western world has one preset mind about the historical side of art in comparison to the difference in the Eastern world, and how in the Western world, we are not taught about the Eastern side of art because we're brought up about the art canon as well, which is basically talking about what are the pinnacles of art in art history that we're taught of, which would be, say, Vermeer, Leonardo, Da Vinci, everything like that. I almost said DiCaprio then. Oh, God. Da Vinci, Rembrandt, all those sorts of pinnacle artists are the art canons. But very rarely can we actually name an artist from the Eastern world. And so the history of art is not actually all encompassing. It is very much set towards the Western mindset. And I thought that was quite interesting. But that's what we're studying, which is very different to what I had initially thought would be studying. But don't get me wrong, I absolutely love studying, and it's so fascinating to me. And then in Beyond Boundaries, I would actually say it's very, very similar to modernities as well, because in Beyond Boundaries, we're essentially meant to be exploring beyond the realms of like the canvas and like how art is displayed. And once again, we talk about a lot to do with how we view art in the Western world in comparison to the Eastern world, and how we've basically segregated ourselves away from the Eastern techniques and basically claim certain things as our own, and how we encompass them within our lifestyles, which is interesting, sure. But then I also study fine art as well. The fine art module and course is different to every study of art I've ever done before, because at Goldsmiths, we're basically given complete and utter freedom to do anything we want to explore in fine art, which works so amazingly for me because that's how I was brought up being homeschooled. Of if I have an idea, I will explore that idea. And I did struggle a little bit in college and stuff because I was always being told what to do. And I don't deal very well with being told what to do. The best example I could give you is a metaphor my father uses, which is when I was younger, I always used to help him dig holes to do renovations on the house and stuff in the garden. And I would never dig the hole where he asked me to dig the hole. But where I would dig the hole, it would be the best hole you've ever seen. And I somehow can't shake that mindset. Sometimes I do dig the hole in the right place, but a lot of the time I will make the hole my own. And I do, whatever I do, I have to add my own sense of me into it. You may even call it a rebellion of myself. Don't know. But yeah, so I don't really have any conflict here at Goldsmiths because I just get to explore anything I want. And then the tutors are really nice. They all really know their stuff, which is so great. I get to have absolutely amazing chats with my lecturers about really interesting topics that I've never really been able to talk to other people about because it's just not their interest base. Everybody has the same interest as me, so I get to talk about it as much as I want. And then I get to also share about it on the podcast and social media, and I love it as well. It's so great. But yeah, I am struggling a little bit for ideas of what to do with the podcast. This is definitely something I want to be doing more and more. In an ideal world, I want to be releasing at least a podcast episode every week. But it's really hard to manage my time around because I work Saturday, Sunday, Monday as a gymnastics coach as well. So that gives me a couple days where I'm at university doing lectures, and then I got to be in the studio creating works and all this sort of stuff, and I got deadlines to meet. So sometimes I may not be able to do the podcast as much as I like to and would want to, but I definitely want to be doing this a lot more. But please, if you have any suggestions of what you'd like me to talk about, please let me know, because otherwise I'm just going to be sharing things that I've learned at university and just been talking about those, or sharing some more things about fine art and tips and tricks or the history of art. I don't know. So yeah, I've done a quick little rebrand thing as well of the cover art for the podcast as well, because I thought it was new start for me down here in London. So new start for a couple of other things as well. But yeah, thank you very much for listening. And if you enjoyed this, it's just a very small chat of me talking to the camera and talking to you. But if you enjoyed it, then please give it a rate and let me know what you'd like to talk about and what you'd like me to talk about. So yeah, thank you, and bye-bye.